Hey, everybody. I'm Mike. This is Indy. She is a pearled cockatiel, which is apparently not a breed. It is a mutation. She's a mutant. Wait, don't leave. Hold on. Indy. Indy is really spazzy. We have 5 birds, and this one is the most easily scared. Do we have 5? Do we have 4? We have 4 now. Sad tale about the 5th one. We won't get into that because I'll get in trouble. Indy is... How long have we had Indy? Couple of months. She's very young. She gets very spazzy. She's very scared about things. So I wanted to say hi to Indy and hi to you guys. And I'm going to talk about I figured I'd have her because she won't interrupt much. Because I want to talk about the stuff that's going on in the world. Yesterday, I was scheduled to have a session to talk to you guys, but I canceled it last minute because I just was not in the mood. Because there's so much that I've been reading about and watching, and it's affecting my mood. My wife today told me that I'm being an asshole lately. So if you want to know how effective my stress management techniques are, they're not apparently working very well. So I wanted to talk a little bit. I was thinking about this issue with all these riots and what's going on with the gentleman who died, and all the stuff that's coming out after it, and the stuff that's gone before, the history that's gone before, and what it means to all of us. And I think I tried to relate it to my own understanding of history, not because I have the same history as African American communities. Obviously, it's not the same, but you see the floofs flying around? In order to relate, we tend to, pull things back to us. And so, if you don't know, I grew up Mormon, LDS, member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We're supposed to say the full thing now. But the Mormons, we live in Kansas City now, and so we're really close to some historical points for Mormon history, and specifically Missouri. The governor of Missouri actually issued an extermination order for Mormons, which basically said that they need to be wiped out, and anyone who murdered a Mormon would not be prosecuted. So it was an immunity order. The governor, this was a state action. The governor literally said, anyone who kills Mormons, you don't get prosecuted. Go for it. We need you to do it. And there was a lot to that, and there's a tendency when we see things, these kinds of groups like this and these kinds of reactions like this, we tend to do one of two things. Either we over-lionize the victim, right? We talk about the victim as if they were heroes, and I can say in the story of the Mormons of Missouri, they were not heroes. There were many things that they did that caused a lot of fights, and on the other side, the people who are pushing the violence, they otherify, right? They create otherness in the people that they're trying to victimize, because once they're other, then they're not people. You can demean them and you can hurt them, and it doesn't mess with your morality. And so, in the case of the Mormons, they practiced polygamy. They had this weird religion. They were anti-slavery in a community. If you know anything about Missouri and Kansas at that time, that's where the Civil War basically started. There was a lot of otherness about the Mormons. And when people went and they killed, there was a massacre called Hans Mill. It killed 17 boys and men from age 9 to 74, I think it was. I mean, they just wiped them out. And Joseph Smith was assassinated along with his brother by a mob that included a bunch of policemen from the area and militia members. It was ugly. It was bad. And I say that to say, for me, I look back at that experience and realize that I have been other. And I'm also, my family's Irish. My background is Irish. If you have an Irish background or an Italian background, come on, guys, we have been other, made other. Quite frankly, if you came to America, your family was probably not part of the landed gentry generations back. At some point, you have been other. And in your life, at some point, you have been other. There's something about you that has made you not part of the mainstream. None of that justifies your death. None of it. None of it justifies you being harmed without due process, right? We tend to do this thing with, especially when young African American men die, you see the press will come out and say, well, he smoked pot. Holy shit, right? Like, smoking pot does not mean that you die. You certainly do not, if smoking pot were a capital offense and you could die on the electric chair, it would probably need to follow some process. These incidents where there's no process are a problem. To the rage that you're seeing right now, there's a quote from Martin Luther King going around that these sort of these riots are a result of rage. They're rage spilling over. It's hard to excuse some of the activity that's in these riots. You also see that local, for whatever their reasons, their own self-interest, they're saying, no, these people are coming from out of state, or they're part of, they're white supremacists. They're just trying to stir up trouble. I have no idea. Even if these are super ragey, African Americans who've grown up under struggle, who have finally had it, and they're lighting cars on fire, you still are going to have to grapple with that. I don't know what the police forces are supposed to do. I don't know what they should do. I don't know how to get control of this situation. That's not my job. That's not my responsibility, and it's not yours either. Quite frankly, the only thing I can say to you today is remember your otherness. Remember the times that you were outside. Remember the history of your forebears and when they were other, and the time that people made them other so that they could justify harming them. We all have more in common than we have different. We are all more the same than we are other. And I hope what you will do during this time is apply some compassion, not see somebody as different. It's such a hard hurdle to get over, but you just look in your history and you'll find it. So that was all I had for tonight. I hope you guys have a good night. Tomorrow we'll have some more humor. Use the hashtag AskTwinsies. Ask some questions. Nick and I will give answers. We'll try not to make it too heavy. Say goodnight to Indy. Say goodnight, Indy. She wants to bite me. She wants to bite me. Good night, guys.